I was born with pain transference. Whatever pain someone fakes in my presence, they feel for real. When a girl pretended I pushed her and cried about how much it hurt, the next second she was screaming as if every bone in her body had shattered. When a con artist threw herself in front of my car, wailing that her back was broken, her vertebrae instantly dislocated, paralyzing her on the asphalt. Over time, people learned to treat me with a healthy dose of fear. No one dared to fake an illness or play the victim in my vicinity. Until, for the sake of a family merger, I was engaged to a brilliant, aloof maestro of surgery. At our engagement party, his little sister from med school clutched her stomach, her face slick with cold sweat as she cried. In front of the city's medical elite, she clung to my fiancé's sleeve and whimpered, "Julian, my stomach cancer. It's flaring up. It hurts so much, please save me." The elegant ballroom fell silent. My fiancé removed his gloves. "Serafina, Monica is in critical condition. The engagement party will have to wait. A doctor's duty comes first. I can't just stand by while a patient suffers." The champagne flute in my hand paused midair. "Turns out you're telling the truth. In that case, you can just drop dead. Your cancer cells have just metastasized. The pain has been magnified tenfold. You're going to die in agony." Julian stopped in his tracks and glared at me. "Serafina, what the hell are you talking about? Monica is already so sick and you're cursing her? How can you be so vicious?" The moment he finished speaking, a blood-curdling shriek ripped from Monica's throat. The sound was so piercing it seemed to shatter the crystal chandeliers. Monica thrashed out of Julian's arms, crashing to the floor. She curled into a ball, clutching her stomach like a boiled shrimp, her white dress instantly soaked with sweat. She writhed on the ground, her head banging against the marble. It hurts so much. Somebody help me. My stomach is exploding. My insides are on fire," she screamed, clawing at her own belly, her nails digging bloody furrows into her skin. Julian was horrified. He dropped to his knees, trying to restrain her. "Monica, what's wrong?" Lost to the pain, Monica bit down hard on his wrist. Julian grunted in pain, but refused to let her go. He looked up at me, his eyes blazing with fury. "Serafina, what did you do to her?" I stood my ground, looking down on them. What could I do? Didn't she say she has terminal stomach cancer? This is what a flare-up looks like. Surely a great doctor like you would know that. The guests began to whisper. "That girl's screams. They don't sound fake. Could she really have terminal cancer? How tragic." Julian no longer had time to argue with me. Monica's eyes were rolling back in her head. Foam flecked her lips, and her breathing grew ragged. "Monica, hang on. I'm taking you to the hospital right now." Ignoring the bite on his wrist, he scooped her up and ran for the door. At the threshold, he turned back, his gaze pinning me. "Serafina, if anything happens to Monica, I will make you pay." I just smiled coldly and drained my champagne. "Let's be clear, Julian. You're the one who publicly abandoned me for another woman. As of now, our engagement is void. You're not breaking it off. I am." Julian froze for a second, then snarled, "Fine. I wouldn't want a cold-blooded woman like you anyway." And with that, he was gone. Dead silence filled the ballroom. Everyone stared at me. I set down my glass, walked onto the stage, and took the microphone. "Ladies and gentlemen, my apologies, but the engagement party is canceled. Please, eat, drink, and enjoy the rest of the evening. It's all on my tab." Then, I gathered the skirt of my gown and walked out, leaving a sea of stunned faces behind me. I knew with absolute certainty, Monica was a dead woman. My power of pain transference had never once failed. If she dared to fake terminal cancer, I would make her experience it for real, magnified by 10. Julian rushed Monica to his own hospital, City Central, straight into the emergency room. Her screams echoed through the entire ER. He pulled some strings and ordered an emergency full-body CT scan. He stood in the control room, his eyes glued to the monitor. When the images appeared, the attending physician gasped. "Dr. Barkley, this is impossible." Julian shoved the doctor aside. On the screen was a massive, irregularly bordered tumor in her stomach. But that wasn't all. Her liver, lungs, even her bones were riddled with metastatic lesions. It was real. Stage 4 stomach cancer, spread throughout her entire body. Incurable. Julian's legs gave out and he nearly collapsed. How can this be? She had a full physical just last month at this very hospital. All her markers were normal. The physician sighed. The images don't lie. With this level of metastasis, she has 3 months to live at most. From the ER, Monica's screams continued unabated. They gave her painkiller after painkiller, but even the highest dose of morphine couldn't touch the pain. She had ripped the bedsheets to shreds. Julian burst into her room, grabbing her hand. "Monica, don't be afraid. I'm the best surgeon there is. I will save you." Ignoring the other doctor's advice, he scheduled an emergency surgery. He was going to open her up and cut the tumor out himself. The operating light flickered on. Julian scrubbed in, scalpel in hand. The moment he made the first incision, he despaired. Her abdominal cavity was filled with cancerous fluid and nodules. Her stomach was a necrotic, pulpy mess. There was nothing to cut, nowhere to start. His celebrated surgical skill was a joke. Julian's hands began to tremble, and the scalpel clattered to the floor. He leaned against the operating table, buried his face in his hands, and broke down sobbing. Meanwhile, I had returned to the Vance family estate. The moment I walked in, a teacup flew past my head, shattering at